back to the channel. Whew. It's a cold December day. We're in the Eifel region of Germany, and we're checking out some Roman aqueducts and history. We're specifically heading to the Eifel Aqueduct, which is the aqueduct that supplied Cologne's water, and it starts about 30 miles southwest of Cologne. So that's where we're at right now. We're trying to find the springs and the actual aqueduct because most of it's underground, but there's a few spots where it pops up. And that's where we're going. Wow. What? There it is. All right, we made it. We made it to the top. This is part of the Romer Canal, Wanderweg, the path. Lots of interesting stuff here. But we're at the top. We're gonna go look at the canal now, the aqueduct. So apparently at around 80 BC, the Romans in Cologne ran out of water because their near aqueducts, which were only a few kilometers to the west, ran out of water. So they needed to head to the Eifel region because there's tons of springs up here, and they needed more water. So they came up to this region. They built their aqueducts, and this is what they look like. So this is original manhole or entryway, and there it is. Most of it's underground. Most of the aqueduct is underground because they understood it would freeze in cold temperatures and damage. So the aqueduct was built to be underground, unlike some of the other ones, which you see those giant bridges. Like in France, you see those giant bridges. This one, Germany, cold, need to be underground and insulated. So they've excavated a few areas, and this is one of them. We're near Breitenbenden. Here's what it looks like now. So they've excavated the aqueduct here. As you can see, this is what it looks like. According to the archaeologist, this would have stayed about 1 meter below the ground, and due to the high calcium carbonate content, there's actually calcium buildup on the side of the aqueduct from how long it was used, apparently for hundreds of years. And because of the hard water, the aqueduct has a plaster on the bottom. And if you look there, you have the manhole or entryway, and then you could jump down, do your maintenance, and yeah, clean up everything. So this is the first one we're going to. We're gonna go to 2 or 3 more that require less hiking, although it was an easy hike, and see where this takes us. All right, we made it to the next one. A couple miles to the southwest of where I was before. There's a partially rebuilt in the 60s Aqueduct Bridge. You can walk up to the top and look at the top, and again, mostly reconstructed, but interesting to see how it would have looked. This is the original underground part, and then it would have continued across this little valley here. So here it is again from the bottom, but again, reconstructed. There's a pile of rubble if you look at some of the old pictures, but that's what it would have looked like to go across this little valley area. On to the next one. All right, we found another one, but this is where 2 pipes met to go to Cologne. So let's take a look here. That's the aqueduct that goes to Cologne. They met there, and then you have one that came in there, one that came in there, and then they met here in the cistern and continued together there. Here's another view. That's from Eifel. That one's from wherever that is, Dry Muchlin, and they all met here. Pretty crazy. And again, all underground. Now we're heading off to a couple small areas for the aqueduct and other places. Here we go. All right, this is gonna be a quick one, easy enough. Just some excavation, a little cross tubing, I guess, but still a couple meters below the ground. Some nice horses. Yeah. All right, we made it to the Klaus Spring, which is actually one of the water sources. This is where the water was collected and the start of one of the aqueducts, about 30 miles direct to Cologne from here. The cistern's currently empty, but if you look closely, you can see that there's lots of area for water to move. There's several different directions with different aqueducts. And this is one of the main collection points. I believe there were 3 main ones in this area. And all the water collected in this big cistern here and then went off on its journey. 30 miles direct. I think it officially said it was 80 kilometers of aqueduct. Now we're off to another one, another famous one, the main one apparently. So here we go. All right, we got rained out yesterday. We were walking to Grüner Pütz. This is the very start of one of the aqueducts. Again, a lot of this stuff was discovered in the 60s and rebuilt and dug up and shown and displayed. And this is all part of that Roman canal way. So based on what I was looking at yesterday after we got home from the rain delay, this aqueduct connected into the other spring we were at yesterday. So there's some connection between those 2 springs. And we're what, 40 miles from Cologne direct? And yeah, it must seep through the ground into the basin. And then there it goes, on its way to Cologne. So this portion was built in the 60s and 70s from some remnants, but the bottom is still original and it works by seepage from the side of the hill. And we have a couple different stone canals that collect everything seeping out of the side of the hill. And then it collects here and gets sent on its way through the aqueduct. So here's what the entire area looks like. This is more modern and rebuilt in the 60s and 70s during excavation, but there would have been a small basin there, and as you can see, there's the top of the aqueduct. And it heads that way, and you can see more of the aqueduct, so let's head that way. So now we're walking, and the start of the spring is maybe 50 meters, and you can see here it along the ground. So there it is, still functioning, still underground. Obviously after 2,000 years they've dug a path, but this is the aqueduct, and this would have been a meter or 2 underground for the majority of the way. If you look down there, we're going to continue. So now we're about 30 more meters from where we were before, and now it's really underground. Take a look. So there it is. We were there, underground, and now it's here, and it still functions, but they now have a modern pipe diverting the water to the stream. It's just that direction, but yeah, it's still functioning. The spring's still pumping out water. It's just no longer continuing on its path to Cologne. It's crazy to think you're next to this 2,000-year-old thing that thousands of people worked on by hand and dug a hole in a channel and built. I love it. All right, I think that's it for today's adventure. We started at the bottom, now we're at the top. We followed the path of the Eifel Aqueduct. Good time. Definitely check out the Aqueduct Way. See ya.